the a-hole for leaving my mom's house and going to my dad's after fighting with my half-siblings about us not having the same dad. I've been splitting time between my parents since I was 6. Mom remarried when I was 8 and had 3 kids with my stepdad. They're 12, 10, and 7 now. For years, things felt off at mom's house. My half-siblings would make comments like, "Why do you keep leaving us?" Or, "When are you moving back for good?" I'd explain I live with my dad half the time, and they'd get this confused look like I was speaking another language. Last Tuesday, my school counselor called me into her office during lunch. She had this concerned expression and closed the door carefully behind me. She said my 10-year-old half-sister Madeline had come to her crying, saying I was being abused at some man's house and forced to go there every other week against my will. I sat there stunned. I told her that some man is my father and I have 50-50 custody. I'm not being forced anywhere. I want to be at my dad's house. The counselor's face changed completely. She asked why Madeline would say something like that if it wasn't true. She pulled out notes from previous conversations with my half-siblings, all expressing concern about me being taken away by a stranger every Thursday. That's when it hit me. My mom and stepdad have been lying to my half-siblings for years. They've been telling them that my dad isn't really my father, that he's just some guy from mom's past who helps out sometimes, or worse, some dangerous person who takes me away. I felt sick. The counselor said she had to file a report with CPS based on what Madeline told her. I begged her to call my dad first and verify the custody arrangement. She agreed, and within 20 minutes my dad was on the phone confirming everything, offering to send the court documents. I went to mom's house that afternoon instead of dad's because I needed answers. My stepdad was in the kitchen making dinner. I asked point blank why my half-siblings think my dad isn't my real father. Mom came in from the living room and immediately got defensive. "We never said that exactly," she said. "We just don't think it's healthy for them to understand such a complicated situation at their age." My stepdad didn't even look at me. He said, "Your real family is here now," while chopping vegetables. "The kids don't need to know about every adult that comes and goes from your life. Every adult. Like my dad was some random boyfriend." I pulled out my phone and showed them my birth certificate that I keep photos of. I pointed at my dad's name printed clearly under father. My 12-year-old half-brother Aaron was standing in the doorway. He grabbed my phone and stared at it. "That doesn't mean anything," he said. "Lots of paperwork is wrong." I lost it. I told them my dad was in the hospital room when I was born, not the man standing in their kitchen pretending to cook. That I have my dad's last name, his green eyes, his dimples, and 50% legal custody because he's my actual biological father who wanted me. My stepdad slammed the knife down. "You're being disrespectful in my house. We've raised you, fed you, given you a family. Your mom could have done this alone, but I stepped up." "Stepped up?" I said. "My dad never stepped away. He's been there my entire life. He pays child support, comes to every school event, and actually wants me around." Mom started crying and said I was confusing the younger kids, that they don't understand why I choose to leave them every week, that it hurts their feelings. I looked at Aaron and Madeline and my youngest half-sister Abby, who was 7. They were all staring at me like I was the villain in their story. "He's not your dad," Madeline said quietly. "Our dad is your dad too." I grabbed my backpack and my phone. "Good thing I have another house to go to," I said. "One where people don't lie about who I am." I walked 6 blocks to the nearest bus stop and called my dad. He picked me up 20 minutes later. When I explained everything, he looked like he wanted to drive back and confront them, but instead he just held me while I cried. The next morning, Mom called the police and reported me as a runaway. 2 officers showed up at Dad's house around 10 a.m. They asked if I'd come home willingly. I said no. They asked why. I told them the whole story while my dad pulled up a custody agreement on his laptop. The officers talked to both my parents separately. One of them told my dad that this wasn't a police matter. It was a custody issue, and they couldn't force me to go anywhere during his legal custody time. Now Mom's lawyer has filed an emergency motion claiming I'm being alienated from her family. Her court documents say Dad is turning me against her and filling my head with lies. But I'm not the one lying. I never have been.